What were you doing there?
I was
He's rubbing
lubricating
that.
my lips.
He's rubbing the cocaine into his gums.
What's up, guy? That's
Get
just
amped.
Zen. This episode's sponsored by Knockoff Zins. What's up, guys?
Velo.
Oh man. All right, yeah. What's up, guys? Welcome to
Velo,
Pound the Walk.
sponsor us.
Yeah, 7-Eleven special. Week 18. We're on
Hey,
the
Happy
last
New
week
Year,
of the
y'all.
regular season. Oh,
Welcome
that
to
too.
first 2026 episode of Pound the Walk podcast, baby. Welcome back, y'all. Thanks for sticking it out with us for this whole season. And like you said, it's the last regular game this season, week 18.
Yeah. Week 18's got some games that matter. I'm sure the NFL wish there were more, but there's. But the AFC North is obviously still up for grabs. That shit show. So is the NFC South. Some interesting stuff. But, yeah, we're on the final week. We got some teams that are kind of locked in. Some teams playing for first seeds. Some teams not playing their starters probably. But, yeah, last week was the Christmas week. It was fun. Kind of. Maybe not for you and me, but we'll talk about that. We'll dive right in. Yeah, last week of the regular season. Then we got playoffs.
Playoffs?
Had to do it.
Playoffs?
Had to do it.
It's kind of like instinct. I mean, like, that wasn't scripted or anything. As soon as you said the word playoffs, it kind of just came out.
It's natural for anyone who watches football. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's going to be fun, obviously. Playoff football is the best. We were just talking about before we started, like, what a journey, what a roller coaster for some of our teams here. We were just talking about the Colts. It seems months ago at this point. Best team in the NFL, made that big trade. Sauce Gardner, obviously he gets banged up specifically, but things happen too. Guys aren't in the playoffs now. We lost. Us losing solidified that for you guys last week, which is very unfortunate. But yeah, that's what we're going to dive into. Week 17 real fast, talk about the Colts, talk about the Chargers, then dive into our predictions for Week 18, right? Right?
I think that's how it goes. But yeah, let's just jump right in. Can't blame completely on the Chargers for getting us eliminated. We also lost. So, rough.
Yeah, the Phil Rivers journey's over. That's a bummer too. But yeah, we had the Christmas
Lesson while it
games. Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. Obviously, it was great to watch Phil. Wish he could play again, but they're playing Riley Leonard. But yeah, I mean, the Chargers game was on Saturday. We hosted Houston. It was 20-16 at the end of the game. We definitely didn't show up offensively or defensively the first quarter, really much first half. Some really bad drops, one being essentially a touchdown. Rookie Gadsden, you can give him those chances to make those mistakes as a rookie. I get it, but that hurts. He's a sure-handed tight end and dropped one right in the end zone. That was the biggest swing in my opinion. We fought through though. We ended up showing out defensively. Had a chance potentially to get the ball back, to go down, score a touchdown, to win the game, and classic NFL, the refs call a stupid illegal contact on, I believe it was third down to force the fourth down. That was rough. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't by rule book a penalty, but it's just a little bump and run type situation in zone coverage that doesn't get called often. So you would love for the NFL, just for the sake of playoff contentions and maybe making Week 18 more interesting, to not call that, not to sound biased or upset about that. But yeah, I guess the best thing I can say about that is if we showed up and played all four quarters, we competed already as is. We could definitely handle Houston. Maybe we get to see them in the playoffs. Both teams are going to be locked in there now because of that win. The Colts got knocked out. But yeah, got to play better. Houston's got a really good defense, got to protect the quarterback. It was just one of those typical games, again, where our offensive line just showed their true colors. When you play a detailed, aggressive pass rush like the Texans, you got to keep your quarterback clean. So it's just a terrible way to go out. And yeah, Herbert's not going to play this week because we're kind of locked in where we are. I mean, we might fall 7-6 type seeds here in the playoffs, but we lost. That's about it.
Yeah. big shout out to your defense, though. They kept the Texans in check for the most part. Yeah, that drop was costly. I remember watching it, and that was a sinking feeling in my stomach because I knew the implications of you guys losing this game. And the offensive line just. It's the same offensive line we've seen all year against one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. It's unfortunate. You guys still have another chance, though. Glad you're resting your starters, at least most of your starters. Get them healthy for the playoff run. Hopefully things turn around for you guys and you make a run for it. So jumping in the Colts game next. Jacksonville just played too clean of a game. Our pass defense, spotty, real spotty. Uncle Lou, first half of the season looked like a genius, and then that second half of the season, you can see why the Bengals let him go. A lot of things are just, they were just carving them up. We're, obviously depleted quarterbacks. Phil Rivers, as great as he is, I don't think he's in football shape, Could things have been a little different if he had an off season, an entire season? Probably, but here we are. We're starting Riley Leonard, see if the kid has a chance, But yeah, we just did not play very good football, and, coming into the game, they knew they were kind of knocked out, so did they play their hardest? Maybe not. I don't know. It was still, I guess, somewhat competitive game towards the end. They didn't just completely give up on their fans, so they gave them something, and it is what it is. Had a great run. Don't mind being in the middle of the pack right now, just because we don't have a first-round draft pick to care about anyway.
Max.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously my energy's a little low right now. Last month and a half of football has not been kind for the Indianapolis Colts. But again, I've said this since, week 5, week 6, I was expecting a 4-win season. It was a journey, it was a roller coaster ride. A lot of drama, it was fun to watch. There was hope until the very end. So that was the Indianapolis Colts season. I really have not much else.
Yeah, it was fun to watch Phil. He definitely looked competent. I think he proved a point there. Obviously did not come out with a single win. 0-3, I believe. That's rough. I think last time I asked you was before the Achilles. Would you still want to re-sign Daniel Jones?
I would.
Yeah.
We were on a great run until he basically broke his leg and became completely immobile, and then just super unfortunate his Achilles blew up week after that. So before all that, we were the hottest offense in the NFL for 10 weeks, and then we just kind of crumbled from there. I would love to see Daniel Jones come back, get another run at this thing. I don't know. We'll see how Riley Leonard plays, this weekend. Might change my mind, but I still have a lot of faith in Daniel Jones. He looked really competent for most of the season, and it just kind of went out in an unfortunate manner. So,
Yeah. I don't know. It could be a blessing in the sense that injury will hold back other teams from negotiating with him if the Colts let him open negotiations into free agency. Then y'all can snag him for like a 1-year deal. It still would be a fat contract being a starting quarterback. I don't know. Anthony Richardson would in the next year you come in like Anthony Richardson's the QB1 or Riley Leonard's the QB1 with Daniel Jones still healing up. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Like you said, you don't have a first round draft pick. It's not like I would even see you guys landing a solid quarterback that in that middle of the pack area. In my opinion, I don't know if there's much talent outside of even Fernando Mendoza. Makes me question, the talent on his end. I don't know. That's for the off season, but. What a year. What a roller coaster year.
To go through.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Roller coaster of a year. I had fun. I'm still going to enjoy the playoffs. I'll excited to see what the offseason brings, but we're not there yet. still in Week 18, so let's take a look at Week 18. Score win-wise, 8-9. I think that is now 8 fingers up my butt.
Trying to get that double dig. Let's see if I can do that after this week.
You very well might, because I started hedging to try to catch up a little bit here.
Yeah, and I guess as you pull that up, once again, Week 18, things I definitely know. Steelers, Ravens, I think that's Sunday night, or maybe Monday night. They're winning in. So whoever wins that game gets the division title and gets that 4th seed in the AFC playoff picture. That'll be fun. NFC South, Panthers and Buccaneers play each other. That's basically a winning in. I think it's something along the lines of, if the Bucs beat the Panthers, but the Falcons win, the Panthers still make the playoffs. So better chances for the Panthers even if they lose, which I think the Bucs and Panthers play Saturday, middle of the day. Tomorrow. From when we're recording.
Yep. Let's take a look at that.
Hell yeah. So we got Carolina at Tampa. You got Carolina. I guess that makes more sense. Both teams are in that same realm. Tampa's been really, really stinky lately, banged up, kind of getting healthy. Yeah, you got Carolina. I got Tampa.
Yeah, Carolina's had a better season than anyone's really expected. Tampa, the last couple of weeks, have been kind of falling short. So with what's at stake, I can see Carolina wanting having a little extra motivation to get the dub here.
Yeah, hey, I just thought about it. This has to be the first game ever where Bryce Young in the NFL is essentially in a playoff game situation. So that'll be interesting to see with his back against the wall, with an opportunity to just basically solidify a playoff spot, or definitely solidify a playoff spot if they win. What will happen? But I'm just taking Tampa at home. It is a playoff environment at that point. I'm sure the crowd's going to be nuts. But yeah, anything can happen, really. It's up in the air for me. But yeah, then we got another
Saturday
Saturday
game.
game.
A few teams this season, so I can see it happening once again.
Yeah, for sure. And then Seattle at San Fran, another great game. This is essentially for the first seed, if I'm not mistaken, something along that lines. Seattle currently has it. We both got Seattle away, though. Yeah, San Fran's been hot. Brock Purdy's been one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the last few weeks, if not the whole month. But Seattle's hot. If Darnold just stays smart, doesn't throw these type of I think he throws a few interceptions where it seems like he knows where the ball should go, and he kind of misreads coverage more than anything. I don't think it's bad balls. It's more so bad decisions. Things like that can get them away from winning the game, but I don't see that happening in such an important matchup. I got Seattle as well.
Yeah, Seattle, when they play clean football, they are a really hard team to stop. Their mistakes, are the reasons that they've lost games or struggle. When they make bad reads, just throwing the ball where it shouldn't be going, turnovers and whatnot. Those are what prevents Seattle from being great. So if they can play a clean game, I think they can take over a hot San Francisco 49ers team.
Yep. Then we got Sunday football. Cleveland at Cincy. Myles Garrett going for the sack record. That'll be fun. I think he's gonna get it, but I don't think they win. I think Cincy's been looking like the offense that they wanted to be, when they're healthy with Joe Burrow the last couple weeks. I see that happening again.
Yeah, absolutely. Cincy's offense, when it's clicking, again, they can be red hot. And I don't think Cleveland's offense is hot enough to, put enough pressure on that defense through 4 quarters of football.
Yep. New Orleans at Atlanta.
New Orleans against the Falcons. Yep. Because of what I saw against the Rams, I gotta go with the Falcons on this one.
Yeah, Atlanta their roster's fun. I mean, it's been like that for a few years. Obviously, they're not 100% with their quarterback situation. But Kirk is looking like the veteran that he is, slinging the rock. Kyle Pitts has been balling finally. Pretty streaky guy as far as the talent goes. But yeah, and then Bijan, I can't go against them. I'm sure they know what's going on as far as like just the idea of being able to ruin one of their division rivals' playoff hopes. Yeah, I don't know. I got Atlanta, which would, for my picks, that would make Carolina win the division. So I think that's going to happen.
There we go. All right, Green Bay at Minnesota. Both have Green Bay on this one. Yeah, I don't know. Minnesota, again, they're just too inconsistent of a team. Even when they get wins, I'm not really that impressed by them. But divisional game, they could prove me wrong. But Green Bay, I think, is just a hotter team, more consistent team, and I see them taking this game.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I didn't have full knowledge on the situation with the Green Bay and their starters. I know Jordan Love's been a little banged up. I don't know if Malik Willis will play or not, but he's been pretty serviceable. He's got a bad shoulder. He got hurt again last week, but pretty sure it wasn't to the point where he can't play. I don't know. I still got Green Bay no matter what.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't do a ton of research on some of these games just because of how everything's kind of been falling in place, especially with the ones that teams that are kind of solidified in spots or seeding. So, yeah, this one I'm not 100% sure either, but at the same time, like you said, Malik Willis, he's all right when you got to throw him in there every now and again. So,
hell yeah. Then we got Dallas versus the Stinky Giants, who I think they beat the Raiders last week, which ruined their first overall pick contentions. Once again, they did that last year as well. Pretty funny. But yeah, I got Dallas. I think they're gonna finish the season strong. I like what they're doing, man. It was a really bad start, but I really like Schottenheimer. I think Jerry Jones actually did a phenomenal job as like the GM role of moving pieces around that he had to do. So I think Dallas is a good team. Got a few more years with Dak. I think they'll finish strong this season just so they can have some momentum into the offseason. And New York is gonna get like the second pick in the draft.
All right.
Yeah.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. Both have Jacksonville on this. Even if they bench a handful of their players, Tennessee Titans are just a stinky team this year. Hopefully, things turn around for Cam Ward, unless they're playing the Colts. But otherwise, I see Jacksonville just, dominating this game, just proving that they belong as the number one in the AFC South.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville, out of all the AFC teams, they have the best momentum right now. They've been really hot to the point now where I can't say they're inconsistent. I guess they have to prove me otherwise at that point. And yeah, it's Tennessee. Cam Ward has been even better lately. He's had a flashy season. Like, he looks really good, but got to go with Jacksonville. They're like a powerhouse team right now. I can't deny it.
Absolutely. Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Only reason I'm going Indy is just to piss off the Houston fans, I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe C.J. Stroud takes a couple shots that, coaching staff doesn't really love early and want to save his body for the playoffs, and they pull him and keep our starters in at defense and upset the Houston Texans at home.
Yeah, that actually is very possible. Davis Mills is a solid backup. But yeah, hopefully Riley Leonard just shows some competency. He didn't look god awful when he played that 1 week after the Daniel Jones injury, like the rest of that game. But I gotta go with Houston. I just gotta go with Houston. If C.J. Stroud stays untouched and they play throughout the whole game, their defense is nasty. I'm not a big believer in their offense, but I gotta go with Houston on that one.
Yeah, Riley Leonard, when he played, it was a really wet game, so I couldn't really judge how well he was throwing that rock around. They obviously relied heavily on John Boyte that game. So I'd like to see what happens, in a dry environment, climate-controlled environment, and maybe he can, prove some haters and doubters wrong, and like I said, just spoil the end of the season for the Texans.
Yep. Then we got the stinky Jets versus what I believe is a Josh Allen-less Bills this week, which will be Mitch Trubisky at the Realm. But yeah, the Jets, they might not be statistically the worst team as far as win-loss. I think they're the worst team in the NFL. Brady Cook, I think is his name, is not a starting quarterback, and the Jets are desperate for one. And I just don't see them beating a Buffalo team even without Josh Allen.
Yeah, I agree. Even the depth on the Buffalo Bills, I think, is better than the starting New York Jets. So yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you and go with Buffalo on that one as well.
Yep. We got a Detroit playoff-less Lions playing Chicago, who's surprised some people this year. I think Chicago finishes strong and makes a statement game against Detroit. It could go either way, though. Can't deny Detroit's talent. But yeah, I got the Bears.
Yeah, Chicago's been a hot team this season. I know it surprised a lot of people, especially with how slow they were, starting last year. But what else is really surprising is how the Detroit Lions have completely shifted into just a really inconsistent team this year. They're either just a hot team, dominant team, or they're kind of mediocre. And we've seen both of it in the last couple months. And I can see this absolutely going in the Bears' favor. So give me the Bears at home for the last regular season game of the year.
Yeah. Caleb's been clutch. Game management and clutch time. They've had a lot of close games, but that's why I think it leans more to that. Like, game management by Ben Johnson and being clutch. Caleb Williams has definitely shown that. Yeah, and then we got my boys, the Chargers, without Justin Herbert, without Amarion Hampton, maybe some other starters not going to be playing for obvious reason, against the Denver Broncos, who will be playing for the first seed. I would love to see us beat them. If we win, I'm pretty sure that gives us the sixth seed, I think. If not, regardless, we would, potentially bring Denver down into the wild card round and maybe get to play them again. I don't know how that works, but that'd be sick. But yeah, I don't see it happening. I think it's my first time not picking the Chargers, but we got Trey Lance and some backups playing against a great defense.
Yeah, this is my first time not picking the Chargers this season either. Denver has something to play for. LA, it's best just to rest your starters at this point. You guys are already in the playoffs. Why risk anything, for the next week? Denver, obviously, they want that number one seed. So they're going to have their starters in probably all game, maybe less the last drive in the fourth quarter or something like that. But yeah, you guys have, aside from pride and fucking up, a division rival's record, you have nothing really to play for. You guys are in. I'd rather see your guys stay healthy and, fight another day. So, yeah, going with the Broncos.
Yeah. First thing I think of, too, is when we had Brandon Staley and we were in a similar situation, we decided to play our starters week 18, and, Mike Williams fractures his back and some other stuff happened, and you just don't do that. So I'm glad. It's just another small example of, having Harbaugh in a different front office now. Just be smart. Give us a bye week. A little tight bye week for us to get into the playoffs. I like it. Yeah. Kansas City, who's been is an entirely different team now. Travis Kelce's potentially his last game ever against the Raiders, who are the worst team statistically in the league. Geno Smith's back at quarterback. That's fun, and I think that's the difference maker here. I think the Raiders, Genti had an explosive game last week. A lot of young talent. I think the Raiders finished their stupid season with a win against Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going with Kansas City on this one just because I think it is Travis Kelce's last game, and the team's going to rally around just to make sure he's got a sick-ass send-off against a division rival. And that's purely my only basis of why I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs on this one. Aside from that the Raiders still suck, but I think, just as an homage to Kelce and everything he's done for the organization, they're going to get him the rock. And knowing him, he's just going to show off one last game, make everyone question if he's really ready to retire, and then go live his life with Tay Swift.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to retire. That's such a bummer. I hate to feel empathy for the Chiefs at all, but, man, who would have thought Kelce and Mahomes would never play again together? It's been 2 weeks already without it, so R.I.P. that duo. Still not better than Phil and Gates.
There's a lot of better duos than Mahomes and Kelce, in my opinion, but we're not going to go there.
That's a take.
I'll take
Dallas Clark and Peyton Manning.
Dallas Clark. Shit, I'll take Andrew Luck and Jack Doyle over that.
Yeah, you definitely got Brady Gronk. You could almost say Witt and Romo. But that's being really hateful towards the greatness of that duo.
It really is. This is me just hating on them.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're probably top 4, maybe top 3 on best quarterback tight end duos of all time.
Probably.
Obviously, Brady Gronk. It's likely going to be Mahomes, Kelsey afterwards statistically, but
I don't know. Gates Rivers got the most touchdowns between two guys. I think. I don't know.
Again,
we don't need to go. You said we weren't going to dive into it.
No, well, we have to dive into it when we say we're not going to dive into it. But moving on, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the LA Rams. LA, despite their losses, they had a couple losses that were a little questionable this season, but I still think they're a better team than Arizona. If they win, are there any implications? I didn't really look into it too much. If they win and then for some reason if Seattle loses, does it change anything? I don't think so with the record being the way it is, but...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Niners have that opportunity to get the first seed. I don't think the Rams do anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams being out is obviously a big blow to their efficiency in the red zone, and it's not like he's out for the rest of the year. Once he gets the playoffs, he'll be good to go. I'm pretty sure it's just a hamstring, and I heard he's already kind of practicing and stuff. So I won't worry about too hard, Rams fans. You guys are still a powerhouse team. The NFC is just nuts. So, yeah, I got the Rams too.
Consider Matt Stafford still the MVP after his huge decline after losing Devontae Adams?
I think Drake May is like 50-50 chance now, unfortunately. I personally would still pick Matt Stafford. He has, 8 picks, but 5 of them were in 2 games. So if you want to talk about value, like in 16 of your 18 games, you threw 3 interceptions and 40-something touchdowns or whatever. And what kills it is the Patriots might get the first seed. So if the Patriots get the first seed, team success, I think, plays a role into those votes. It's really up in the air between the two, in my opinion.
See, I'm still leaning more towards Drake May.
See, I lean Stafford.
He's got, I'm not saying that his weapons aren't, superstar caliber, but at the same time, you lose Devontae Adams and, you lose, 2 out of your last 3 games or something? 2 out of the last 4? So I don't remember what the record is, but I don't know, it's just crazy, how much their production has slowed down after losing Devontae. Imagine if, Puka pulled a hamstring at the same time, too.
Yeah, I mean, you're making valid points. Very valid points, but who's to say Stephon Diggs misses a good chunk of weeks? What the Patriots would do.
Diggs is he's going to jail, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, his brother got cut 30 minutes afterwards, too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, sad way to go out, Diggs.
By Packers?
Yeah, the Packers claimed him before he even went into the open market or whatever you call it. But yeah, they claimed him to finish out his yearly salary, which is a big pickup. I mean, Green Bay's got they lost Micah too, so I mean, put Diggs anywhere out there. He's definitely a lurker. He can be a ball hawk. Better start to his career than the last couple years, but still a talent. So that's interesting.
It's crazy. All right, moving on. Speaking of Drake May, we have the Dolphins at New England Patriots. Obviously, we're both going New England on this one.
Yeah.
Just been a hot team all season long. And is it Quinn Ewers? Is he still in that quarterback for?
I believe so, and he looked pretty good.
He was all right
last week.
He was all right, but I don't think he's any match for that New England defense. Not as a rookie.
I agree.
Anyway.
I agree.
All right, we got Washington Commodores at the Philadelphia Eagles. I tell you, Philly shocked me last week. They looked like that playoff team, from last season. I mean, they looked good. They shut down a powerhouse of a Bills offense. Yeah, I mean, did they do a ton on offense? No, but their defense that we saw from last season really stepped up. And if that same defense shows up again, I mean, I don't think Washington has a chance.
Yeah, I agree. Philly has beat a lot of good teams this year. I I guess it's a good thing for them. No one's really talking about them. If you told me Philly would go to the Super Bowl, I would tell you I'm not surprised. Yeah, and I think they finished the season strong against a stinky Washington without Jaden Daniels, obviously, still, and just can't go with the Skins away.
No, not against Philly in the late half of the season. I mean, same thing kind of happened last year. They started slow and they started picking up. They were a little less consistent this season towards the second half, but I mean that's when they started to play better football. So,
Yep.
all right, we got the
I
Baltimore
agree.
Ravens at Pittsburgh Steelers. I have Baltimore. You have Pittsburgh. I can see this going either way, but I did see that Lamar Jackson was full practicing today. So if King Henry and a healthy Lamar show up, it could be an issue for a pretty tough Pittsburgh defense. I think T.J. Watt might be full go too, though. So this could be probably the best game of the week. If
Yeah.
I'm reading everything correctly.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. You got Baltimore. I got Pitt. That's another one like the Tampa game to start the week. I think it being at Pittsburgh is a big deal. I think it's a playoff. Obviously, it's a playoff type game. So Derrick Henry was crazy last week. Finally looking like vintage Derrick Henry. I think Pittsburgh's defense can play a little stout, strong defense and not have him run for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. And my gut feeling says Steelers win this dramatic journey of a year and win the division.
Yeah, I'm going Baltimore with that one for same reasoning. It's just dramatic. This is probably the best way to kind of end the regular season here with the winning in primetime game against two division rivals who've been going back at it, for forever now. So
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, who do you have a? I wouldn't say early. Do you have a Super Bowl prediction? Who's your NFC? Who's your AFC?
they can get healthy, man. NFC, I'm going the Rams. AFC, New England.
Yeah, I think I don't know, my gut lately, it's the first time I've ever thought it. I think the Niners, especially if they somehow pull through and get the first seed, but even more just the way Brock Purdy's been playing and their team's been rallying with all those injuries. Christian McCaffrey's still a beast. I think the Niners are a team you can't sleep on, so I'm going to go with the Niners now. I've been saying the Rams for the last month or so. I'm going to go Niners, and then the AFC, the Chargers.
All right. I'll take.
Hell yeah.
I'd love to see it happen, though. I'd love to see it happen. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was week 18. Again, thanks for everyone for coming along on this journey with us. We're just two guys who don't really know much about football, talking about football.
Easy
our
there. We know a
records
little
this year.
bit.
We
Hey.
got a lot of Reds this year, man.
It's the new year, by the way, so I mean we don't got a parlay right now, but just know the playoffs, we might make some money. All right, guys, so tune in for that. Get ready for that, and then obviously we'll know what the playoff bracket's gonna look like after this week. So that'll be fun to dive into that. Thanks for pounding the walk with us all regular season, guys.
All right. And that was week 18 of Pound the Walk podcast, baby.
Pound it, push it, bop it, pound it.
Is your ET
you remember-
mask wearing a hat?
Yeah, it's an Orioles hat. He's from Baltimore.
Well, he looks like he's from Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't. He likes to sleep on the sewer drains when it's cold outside because the steam.
Standing up. falling
Yeah.
asleep is-
Yeah,
He was-
he wears that wig like he did for Halloween, so he blends in.
Beautiful. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Bye. You're supposed to end it when I do that. Bye.